I'm wrapping up this letter that I wrote you. Maybe it's the only way to cut through. I won't lose myself for anybody. I'm not sorry. Yeah. Though it hurts, I only wish you blessings. When intuition talks, you gotta listen. I won't lose myself for anybody. I'm not sorry. Yeah. 'Cause you build me up to break me down. Never respect the love you found. And I had a voice inside the back of my mind. I always knew it deep down. You don't deserve me, babe, I won't lie. Got no more tears to cry. Oh, no looking back this time. 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 Running from the truth was getting reckless. In your arms I never felt protected. Oh. 'Cause you don't deserve me, babe, I won't lie. Got no more tears to cry. Oh. No looking back this time. 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 No looking back this time.
Evening, evening, evening. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all well. I haven't got the news for you that you want to hear. I'm sorry. I haven't got the news that you want to hear. We still have Arnie Slot as our manager. Okay. Apologies. I can't make that happen. But what I do have is I have lots of news for you. And it's also not good news. So if you're looking for good news, then you've come to the wrong channel tonight. But we can have a laugh. We can look at some memes. I can give you some updates. I wanted to do a show tonight because I've been contacted by my source and given me some really, really solid information about some major transfer news, which is about to drop in the next 48 hours. So I want to update you on that, which isn't good news. But then there is a little bit of good news about some of the things. And then we can also have a honest conversation around the next 5 games. We can also maybe have a little look at how bad the Fulham game was. And if you want, we can all just complain and moan in the chat. And I'm more than happy to go along with that as well. And to maybe back up some of your moaning and grumbles about the way we've been, because I don't disagree with you. It's been awful. But before we even start, if you could please hit the likes and subscribe, that would be amazing. My aim at the end of 2025 was to get to 2,000 subscribers. I think I'm 30 subscribers away now. So if we can get closer, that would be amazing. And if you do want to support the channel, drop a couple of memberships. They're always nice because we get other people then that can then check out the channel and also look at the free the content behind the paywall. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be around to do any stuff on Thursday and maybe, Wednesday and Thursday. So I might do a preview tonight, but I'm not sure. We might have a look at it for the Arsenal game, but that's not going to be a pretty sight either. But we can maybe have a look at the team that will play for that. Yeah, I know, Christian. I absolutely know. We can look at some of the games. I know it's not great. But before we start, let me do a couple of shout outs to some of the members and some of the old heads who've been here a while. Big up Greenans, big up TW, big up Marvin, big up James, always around. Good to see you, mate. Big up Peter, big up Hayek. Good to have you around as well, mate. Big up Maroon, big up Christian, right from the start, buddy. Also big up Colin, also right from the start. Hope you're well, mate. I tell you what, let's jump into a few bits here. Okay, so right, I'm going to ask you now: do you want some good news, or do you want to start with all the bad? Appreciate it, Marvin. Really appreciate it. I will drop another one on Sunday. Okay, I'll drop another one on Sunday. Also, big up Mo. Do you want me to start with the good or the bad, or the good or the bad or the ugly? Do you want some good news? Do you want some good conspiracy news? Shall we start with some good conspiracy news? What do you think of that? You want bad? Big up Eden as well. It's so dark. Yeah, I know. And big up lady as well. Right. I'll tell you what, we'll start off with a funny. We'll start off with some good conspiracy news. Yeah, there you go, Marvin. We'll start off with some good conspiracy news. Okay, so I know a lot of us want the dream manager. What if Jurgen got us the dream manager? I'm just putting it out there. In case you didn't know, Jurgen Klopp was at the PSG game the day before yesterday. Jurgen Klopp was at the PSG game on Sunday. And Enrique, rumours has turned down a mega contract at PSG because he wants to try a new challenge and potentially in the Premier League. Imagine if Jurgen got us Enrique. What would you give that as a 1 out of 10? What would you do with that? What would you do with that as a 1 out of 10? Jurgen did a Steven Gerrard and did a scouting mission for us. Agent Klopp. Why was Klopp at a PSG game on Sunday? Was Klopp at a PSG game on Sunday because he was checking out players? Just putting it out there. Okay. My spidey senses are going on that one. My spidey senses are going on that one. You give it a 10 out of 10, Tony. Yeah. I know. Big up, Danny, as well. Hope you're well, mate. US cop out. No, you only missed a little bit, mate. You only missed a little bit. Luis Enrique's the one you've always wanted. Commented on him on Jamie's channel. Well, Jurgen was at the PSG game on Sunday. Agent Klopp, hopefully. What else have I got for you? Have I got any more good stuff? Yeah, okay. So got a bit more good news. Liverpool are closing in on a deal to sign a left-sided centre-back called Moore Ndiaye. He'll go straight into Rob Page's under-21 squad. Amara Nallo is to go out on loan. That's breaking. I think he's an 18-year-old. He's highly rated. So that could be one that's coming in. We're also obviously signing a 17-year-old, an Austrian under-21 international, whose name I can't pronounce, so I'll bring it up. He is here. Let me just bring his details up. 2 seconds. Where is it? Where's his details? Just bear with me while I find him. So this guy I had on here a while ago, but now I can't bloody find him. Where the hell's he gone? Actually, there's another player as well that we're rumoured with, which I'll also bring up. So this is a striker, by the way. I thought I'll bring this one up anyway. So has anyone heard about the rumours with this guy? Osama Diao. We've been watching him at FC Midtjylland games. So the guy scored 23 goals this season. He's a guy that we've watched now for the whole year. That's another name that's come up. So I'm just going to bring you up some of the players that we've obviously been linked with. For the life of me, I can't find this kid. Oh, here he is. Got him here. Sorry, there he is. There. So Efanyi and Undukwi. So that's actually a done deal. So we've actually signed him. But he can't join the club until he's 18 because of the Austrian rules. So we won't get him until the summer because at the moment he's 17. I don't know actually because he's older, so I don't know. I'd need to look into that. But there's also another player that we're also being linked with that you might know of that plays in the Championship. This is also a player that we've been linked with. I'm not putting any high probabilities onto any of these, but we've also been linked with Jeremy Monga. Now the question is, someone wrote could he be Rio Ngamoa 2.0? And someone wrote in the comments, why don't we play Rio Ngamoa 1.0? which for me makes a lot of sense. Why don't we just play Rio? He's not a bad player that we've already got, but he doesn't seem to get a game, which I can't get my head around. But then also, this guy doesn't seem to get a game, and this guy's got 3 assists in 4 games, but he doesn't seem to get a game. He got brought on in the 80th minute. Slot's not even playing the players that are actually playing well. So, pick what you want. We could be linked with anybody, but all we're going to get is this: recycle the ball, reuse the same tactics, reduce the intensity, and it goes around and around. That's all we're going to get is sloth ball. That's it. It's all you're going to get from Liverpool right now. And this is what you get from Liverpool. This was the 96th minute. Count how many Liverpool players are in our box. Count how many of the opposition players are in our box. This is no different to what we did against Tottenham. The only thing in the Tottenham game is we were lucky that they didn't score. But we had a situation where we had 10 players in the box and they had 3. And we had nobody protecting the outside of the box. It's exactly the same. And I understand the fact that people blame the players for that. I don't blame the players because this has been done again. This is the same situation. This is exactly the same situation. The game's about to end and we don't have any midfielders. We don't have any midfielders outside of the box. You've got a bunch of guys all in each other's way, all marking each other. And yeah, Harrison Reed scored a screamer. But Harrison Reed could have passed it to the guy who stood there on his own in the box. He's a guy who stood there on his own in the box. Harrison Reed could have played the ball to him and he could have crossed it to all of the players that stood there. This is by design. This is just a complete shit show. Complete shit show. And you also have to realise that a minute before this happened, Arne Slot swapped a central defender around. He brought Joe Gomez on and took a central defender off. That did not need to happen. You messed up your structure at the back anyway. You had one anyway. But you messed up the defensive structure by taking a central defender off and making the defenders question what they were supposed to be doing. Chiesa didn't track his runner, so there's a guy stood on his own, and then there's nobody marking Harrison. There's nobody even blocking Harrison. Nobody. I know, mate, but it's Mo Salah's fault. I know. Absolutely crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And that's another 2 points dropped. And look, I could go on and on and on. I could go on and on and on. And we've talked about this repeatedly. The points we've dropped right now in the league to poor teams that we should be beating. We could be top of the table. We could be top of the table. You just add the draws and the losses and change them to wins because we should be winning them. We could be top of the table because we haven't lost. Sorry, we haven't. We haven't really beaten anybody that good apart from Arsenal. We got beat by Manchester United, who just sacked their manager. Yeah. We got beat by Nottingham Forest, who sacked their manager. We drew to Leeds twice, who were going to sack their manager. We drew to Sunderland. We drew to Fulham. We lost to Chelsea when we had a draw in our hands. We lost to Crystal Palace when we had a draw in our hands. These were all simple games that we could have controlled more, when we could have took a point and gone. We could have took a point and ran. We beat a terrible Aston Villa on the day. Yeah, we beat a terrible West Ham who were about to sack their manager. We just about beat Wolves. Like, this rot is going to continue. And now we're about to play 5 games that we could get no points out of. We've got Arsenal away, who just smashed Aston Villa 4-1, who have won the last 14 games on the bounce before they lost that game. We've got Burnley at home, who, by the way, we only beat them 1-0 after having over 80% possession because of Jeremy Frimpong doing Jeremy Frimpong stuff and crossing the ball in that got us a penalty that Mo Salah scored. We then got Bournemouth away, who, all intents and purposes, gave Arsenal a run for the money, gave every team a run for the money, and also had a 2-2 draw with us in the 85th minute until Chiesa scored a worldie of a goal off the bench. Then we've got Newcastle, who are also playing well. They just beat Crystal Palace. We only beat them 3-2 at their ground because of a Rio Engamoa brilliant goal. They also had 10 men for most of the game and looked better than us. And then we got Manchester City at home. Like, does anybody think we're going to beat any of those teams apart from maybe Burnley? Like, I'm not joking yet. I'm not joking yet. And you've also got a Barnsley in between, a Barnsley banana skin in between that, where if Arnie Slot might throw the FA Cup away, like he did last season with Plymouth, where he threw the FA Cup away. February isn't getting any easier. Have you seen March? Have you seen March? March's games are horrendous. And by the way, after Manchester City, I think we've got Sunderland again away. Like, it's not going to get any easier. You can also throw a Marseille game in there as well in the Champions League, and that's Marseille away to De Zerbi's team, and a Karabag at home game, which we have to win to stay in the Champions League. It's not getting any easier. And we've just had the easiest run we've had all season, and we're unbeaten in 8 games, which Arnie keeps on talking about, by the way. Like, he keeps on talking about this, we're unbeaten in 8 games. It's got to be the worst 8-game run I have ever seen in my life. It has to be the worst 8-game run I've ever seen in my life. And he's giving it this. I think we played a decent game. The guy's trying to gaslight us. The guy's trying to gaslight his own fan base. after games. Like, I genuinely find it just weird. Like, I honestly haven't got anything positive at all to say about it because we've just been so bad. Like, and I sit there looking at it thinking, I genuinely sit there looking at it thinking, I think without those three, we'd be in the relegation zone. I think if we didn't have Verts, Ekitike, and Zoboslai this season, I think we'd be in the relegation zone because they've either scored the goals or set the goals up. Like, it's all them. Like, Zoboslai's got 10 GA, Ekitike's got, I think he's got like 10 GA as well, maybe more. And Verts has started to score goals and get assists now. It's just, it's the lowest of the low, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of way out of this. I don't know what it is, but we concede incredible goals. So now you're just making shit up now, aren't you? Like, you're just making shit up now. How many incredible goals have you seen? How many incredible goals have you watched be scored against Liverpool? Genuinely, because I think that's the first of the season. I don't think anybody scored incredible goals against us. I think people have scored goals because they've been given big chances because we've been shit. They haven't scored like 30-yarders. Like, nobody scored amazing goals against us. Like, teams haven't had to. Like, they've scored 12 set pieces this season against us. They're not incredible goals. They're just set pieces that you just consistently concede because you can't seem to get your team sorted. Like, the crazy thing is, and I totally agree with this, is Klopp won a cup final with kids. Slot can't even play good football with a squad full of superstars. He has a squad full of superstars. And Klopp won a cup final against Chelsea with a bunch of kids. Look at all of those players. Look at all of those players. Petesic is injured. Yeah. Elliot he binned. Quansah he binned. Becky binned, not Beck. Doki binned. Kumas is on loan. Trent left on a free. Jaden Dans has been injured all season. I can't remember his name. Bobby Clark got sold. He got binned. McConnell went out on loan to Ajax. He's had a terrible loan. Bradley's been pretty shit all season, if I'm completely honest, apart from the Real Madrid game. And then you've got Trey Ione, who's played about 80 minutes. Like, make it make sense. Genuinely make it make sense, because those players were supposed to go on to do great things for Liverpool. I was raving about Bobby Clark. I thought Bobby Clark looked like a proper baller. Wasn't given a chance. Stefan Petesic got sent out on loan to Salzburg. That was failed. Then went to Las Palmas, where he had a decent loan, where they got relegated. That's the manager. Like, Arnie doesn't want any kids in his team. He doesn't. Like, and he can sit there saying, "Oh, Rio and Trey Ione." He doesn't want any kids in his team. He's not going to give any youth a chance. So there's no point. There's just no point. There's no point even thinking about it. Like, the amount of times Rio could have came on to change a game or to at least give us some width or something a bit different. Nothing. Trey Ione. Well, you don't think Trey Ione could do a better job than McAllister right now? I mean, at least Trey Ione can run. At least he's got legs and he's got pace. Like, he could do exactly what McAllister does because McAllister does nothing. Like, McAllister recycles the ball because that's all we do is we recycle the ball. So you don't think Trey Ione could come on and do that? Of course he could. Of course he could. I'm starting to sit there now and I'm thinking, my God, what could Klopp achieve with this team? What could Jurgen do with this team? And I don't know. Like, I think he could do some special things because this guy can't do anything with it. Absolutely nothing with it. And this is Anfield right now. Anfield before Arnie Slot. Anfield with Arnie Slot. Embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Nine games unbeaten, but at what cost? We lost 4-1 to PSV and then 3-0 to Forest at Anfield. And then embarked on this unbeaten run, but with completely clueless football. No idea, no intensity, just more bodies in midfield and defence. Football with Slot is nothing. It's horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. And the only chink of light I've got to give you is this, which is just numbers. Okay, it's just randomness, but those two at the bottom have both been sacked. Those two at the top are on the verge. I think Glasner could go to Manchester United. I think that is a possibility that he could leave Palace to go to Manchester United. It's a manager they looked at. It was a manager they're interested in. And Arnie, I think, is on the verge of the sack. But Amarin's gone. Maresca's gone. It looks like Nuno Espirito Santos has gone as well. It looks like, Thomas Frank could go. I would like. Glasner hasn't won a game now in, I think it's 8 games, 7 or 8 games. And he come out with a comment today, which makes me think that something's happening with Mark Guehi. But Arnie, they're all managers of the month for the last 4 months. I'm just saying, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. So Glasner's come out with this comment. I'm not so naive not to know that a massive offer comes from City and Mark wants to do it. It will happen. That's what Oliver Glasner said. And I did actually mention this on Usam's show in the chat. My contacts actually back this up, and they think that Manchester City on Thursday will announce Mark Guehi and Antonio Semenyo as their new signings, and they're probably going to spend about 100 million on those two, because Mark Guehi's going to go for about 40 plus million. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that at all. But it really does look like City are going to flex and get Guehi and Semenyo in. There's also rumours about a rift in the there's also been a rift in the between Richard Hughes and Arnie, apparently. But I did want to bring up the Jumbo Pierce doom scrolling doomsday message that he always gives us just before the transfer window or during a transfer window, which he's been doing for years and years, basically saying Liverpool are going to have a quiet summer, a quiet winter. Yeah, it's likely to be a quiet window for Liverpool. They won't pursue short-term fixes. And the reason why we're not going to pursue any short-term fixes is because I don't think they want to back Arnie, because I think Arnie has got two games left. I think Arnie's got 2 games left. So conflict between Arnie and Richard Hughes dates back to the summer transfer window, as Arnie Slot wanted to replace Luis Diaz with Bradley Barcola. Okay? That is somebody saying that it was Arnie that wanted Diaz to be replaced. So all of the shit that you hear about Arnie wanting to keep Diaz might well not be true. And Arnie might wanted to get rid of Diaz. Well, unfortunately, Liverpool were not willing to spend another 100 million on Barcola, because we've just spent 450 million on loads of other attackers, like your Ekitikes and your Isaacs and your Verts and your Frimpongs. Like, I'm pretty glad we didn't go and spend another 100 million on Barcola, because I would really struggle to see how he integrated him into the team. It's ridiculous. Arnie wanted to send the youngster on a loan deal elsewhere. Well, Barcola's only done about 5 GA this season, by the way. And that's a PSG. I'm pretty sure if Arnie had played Rio instead of Cody, he'd probably have more GA than Barcola. But he hasn't given him a chance. Rio's played less than 90 minutes all season. Nothing. He's not given him a chance. He's played him in games where he needed to score a goal, or he's played him in games where the game's like we're losing. Like, he doesn't play him in games where he can be comfortable, where he can feel like there's no pressure on him to perform. It's bad man management. It's terrible man management. I just hope, and we should all hope, that Richard Hughes sacks Slot because of this, and because of all of the shit performances. And the update from Ekitike as well is Ekitike could well be out for the Arsenal game. It's looking very likely, because he had an MRI scan and it showed that he had a muscle soreness. So the hamstring was real. The hamstring injury was real. But he still travelled to London, like, with a potential hamstring injury. Like, he didn't need to. You should have just left him in Liverpool. But you put him through that. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Cody up front against Arsenal, which is going to be absolutely horrific. I'm not going to lie. He got voted a 4 out of 10 in that game, and he scored as well. And we've also got a really good bunch of lads managing the game in Anthony Taylor and John Brooks as VAR. So don't expect any favours from those two frauds. Do not expect any favours from them two. That's going to be horrible on Thursday. Also, Jimbo Pierce as well. There's been interest from Trey Ione, but he is viewed as an important part of Arne Slot's plans, even though he doesn't play him. Like, he's good to take the splinters on the bench. That's what he's good for. Yeah. He's good to make up the numbers on the bench. That's what he's good for. Yeah. Yeah. And then we've also got this guy as well. Not expected to go on loan. So we'll have another player that won't play any football, that will just be hanging around. So that's great. So you've got Stefan Bacesic, Rio Engamoa, and Trey Ione all hanging around on the bench, not getting any game time. Fantastic. Can't wait for that to happen. And we've also got Owen Beck that's coming back after a failed loan, and we've also got James McConnell coming back after a failed loan. So lots of failed loans. But the good news, which is why we're not going to sign a defender and Mark Wahe's going to go to Manchester City, is Giovanni Leone has transitioned to pool and gym exercises as part of his rehab, which means he could be back in maybe a month's time. Like, he could be back a lot sooner than we think. I think it's interesting because we didn't expect Virgil van Dijk to get back as soon as he did, but this kid has recovered a lot faster than we'd expected. And also Joe Gomez is back as well now. He was on the bench. He also came on as a sub for like a minute, and then we conceded while he was on the pitch. It wasn't his fault. He just came on when he didn't need to. So that's interesting. I also thought this was interesting as well, that Florian Wirtz didn't think it was a goal, which is why he didn't celebrate. He thought he was offside. And looking at some of the referees that have talked about it, I think he was. But then again, we lost the game because of Mo Salah. We lost the game because of Mo Salah. If you haven't watched this video, go and watch it. It's amazing. There's Mo Salah with about 25 Egyptian kids, and you want to see their faces. They are so happy to see him. Like, literally made their day, honestly. Mo Salah's also scored 3 goals in 4 games for Egypt now in the AFCON. But yeah, he's a flop. Yeah, he's terrible. Terrible player. They're now into the quarterfinals, which is interesting. And also this interview is really interesting as well, with Arnie coming out with more gaslighting. Insist he hasn't changed his football philosophy. He's just full of so much horse shit. It's unbelievable. Hasn't changed his philosophy at all. And he said that in the press conference after the game. Well, if you haven't changed your philosophy then, mate, then I don't want you at my club anymore playing the football that you play, and I'll tell you somewhere you won't be going. No, you won't be going there. You'll be going to the other place. You've even got players now that are faking injuries. So he gets the sack. He scored in every AFCON game. Yeah, thought he had. What else have I got for you? I haven't got anything else for you here. Oh, actually, I've got this, which is interesting. It's not Liverpool related. Also, big up this guy as well, by the way. Just want to say respect to this guy, Callum McFarlane. Never managed a professional game before. Also, big up Dom for the raid. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Don, for the raid. Also, big up Callum McFarlane. Incredible stuff. First professional game, and he gets a point away to Manchester City. For Chelsea. That is unreal. That is unreal. That's the type of stuff that just makes you love football, doesn't it? That is the type of stuff that makes you love football, is when you see things like that. First game ever as a professional, and he takes 2 points off Pep Guardiola. Isn't that mental? I think that's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, it's because I'm showing a picture, mate. That's all. It's because I'm showing a picture. When I'm changing the picture, come up bigger. And does anyone think this is going to happen? Do you think he's gone after these games? What do you reckon? Do you reckon he's going to survive after those games? Does anybody think we'll get any points out of those games apart from Burnley? In the chat. Does anyone think we're going to get any points? Does anyone think we're going to get any points? Come on, in the chat. How many points do you think we're going to get out of those? How many points do you think we're going to get out of those? So there's a potential 18 points there. Okay, so out of 18 points, how many points do you think we're going to get? So you've got 18 points. 5 points at best. You think it'll be a 0-0 at Sunderland? We ain't beating Burnley. He'll be gone by Thursday. Wow. Well, he'll be gone on a Thursday. Are you talking about after the Arsenal game? Oh, do you think it's going to be like a Brendan Rodgers where he's done he gets told on the touchline after the game? 6 points. What games do you think the 6 points are from? 9 points. So that's half of the games are going to be wins, or are they just going to be a win and a load of draws? 10. 10 points. I'd take 10 points. I'm not going to lie. I'd take 10 points out of those games. So you think if we get beat by Arsenal, he'll go? See, that's the weird thing. Like, that's the game that I don't think any manager should be sacked. Like if you get beat by a rival, I don't think any manager should get sacked by getting beat by a rival. It's the losing against Nottingham Forest and the losing against PSV. They're the games that, and the Manchester United, like they're the games like that's like you've lost a load of games there, and Crystal Palace twice. Like they're the type of games that like you have that run, that's when you should get sacked. You should get sacked after that run of games. That's the one that made sense to me because it continued from bad football into losing, and now it's just gone into bad football, but getting loads of draws and the odd win here and there. But then getting beat by Arsenal is one that I'd be like, I think that's a bit harsh. Like I would say that, like, but that's just a Liverpool. That just feels like a weird Liverpool thing that they're like, you're not going to get sacked for the games that you should be sacked, and then you get beat by Arsenal and you get sacked. But I think if he gets beat by Arsenal, and then he gets beat by Barnsley at home in the FA Cup, I think that's when they'll pull the trigger. And I did say this on a couple of shows. I said, even if we get a draw against Fulham, like get a draw against Fulham, you get beat by Arsenal, you get beat by Barnsley, I think you're gone. I don't think they could keep you after Barnsley. And we could easily lose against Barnsley, by the way, because he's going to play a weakened team. He's not going to play a full-strength team against Barnsley, because then you'd be sit there going, well, why didn't you play a full-strength team against Crystal Palace when you were in the fifth round? Like you're in the fifth round of the Carabao Cup. You've only got like three or four more games, four more games to go, and you could have won it. Like, so why would you throw away that game and play a full strength against Barnsley? You think he'll be pulled in the summer? Pause. You think he'll go in the summer? By the way, if you haven't hit the likes and subscribe, please do. If you're new here from MHF, please hit the subs. I'd really appreciate it. I'm close to 2,000. If we get over 2,000 now, I would be absolutely over the moon, because I've been on the road to 2,000 for probably the last 2 months, and I was really hoping I could hit that before the end of the year. So if there's enough of you in here and we could get the subs up, I need 30 subs. 30 subscribers I need. I'm at 1,970. That would be absolutely amazing if we could get that up to 2,000 today, because there's 262 of you in here. If we can definitely get that up by 10, that would be amazing. It really would. Really appreciate it. Okay. Okay, what else have I got for you? So I've got some other bits. I'm just going to share my screen. So there's a couple of things here that I wanted to share. So this is from Anfield Watch. Let me get rid of that. I don't know why that's there. Yes, this is from Anfield Watch. So Amarin gets sacked. Warning for Liverpool. So he won 24 out of his 63 games in charge in 14 months, leaving United in no better shape than when he got there. It's interesting, though, because this season Manchester United have been a lot better. Like the fact that Amarin's been sacked and he's managed to beat Liverpool once and got a draw another time at Anfield. Like that's a decent record against against Liverpool. He also got 10 million because his contract ran out in 2027. The weeks before his departure, we're increasingly fractious. Started making random comments. Head of recruitment, Christian Vale, and director of football, Jason Wilcox. Jason Wilcox wanted to pick the team, apparently. Amarin sacked as Man United coach. Where is it? In every department, scouting department, sport and director, they need to do their job. He started kicking off about stuff. So Hughes and Slot in civil war over Enger Moa. A head coach is there to do his job within a framework. By no means is the head coach the boss. With Amarin's declared ambition of being the number one man in charge and his criticism of other departments, he had to go. And that brings us to Arne Slot. Like Amarin, the Dutchman was hired to be a head coach. He did a great job last season, guiding his players to the 2024-25 Premier League title. But there has definitely been a change in recent months, and results-wise, Liverpool are nowhere near where they should be. What I think's really interesting is this feels like it's going down the same road. Like, Amarin came in to a team that wasn't his and did really badly, with that team. Arnie came into the team to a team that wasn't his, but did really well with that team. Arnie's now got his own team. Amarin then got rid of the old team and implemented some of his new players and has got better. Like, I'm not going to say he's been brilliant, but he's got better. Like, Amarin's like, I think he's 6th or 7th. So he's got better at Manchester United, but he's lost his job. Arnie has got worse and kept his job. And the interesting thing is, Amarin's tried to be the number one, but he's been getting overruled by Jason Wilcox on players. And he's already alienated quite a few players. But that's what he's wanted to do, because he didn't want Garnacho, he didn't want Jadon Sancho, he didn't want Kobbie Mainoo. Like, he also wanted to lose quite a lot of their bloat in Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes and Højlund and people like that. He's wanted to get rid of players. Arnie also got rid of loads of players. But Arnie's not playing the players that he's been told to play because he is a head coach. But Arnie is also trying to act like the number one. We've just sacked our set-piece coach, which Arnie kind of threw under the bus. Arnie alienated Mo Salah, put him on the bench. That's also increased a lot of problems. He's also not played Endo, not played Gomez, not played Rio, not played a couple of other players like Chiesa. That was a player that was bought by Richard Hughes. He's also got rid of his assistant manager, got rid of his set-piece coach, got rid of his goalkeeping coach. Like, he's shifted a few pieces around. He's also vetoed Semenyo. That's been vetoed by Arnie. Like, there's a lot of similarities that are kind of adding up here, if you ask me, which makes me think something's got to give, and it's probably not going to be Richard Hughes. Because I think Richard Hughes had a really good transfer window. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm pissed off with FSG for not sacking Slot. I'm pissed off with them. But I'm not pissed off with our transfer window at all. It was a brilliant transfer window. Like, nobody knew that Isaac, Frimpong, and also Leone were all going to get long-term injuries. Nobody knew that. Like, Frimpong's only just come back into the team, and he's got like 3 assists in 4 games. So Frimpong's going to be fine. But nobody knew that they were going to get that many injuries. Nobody knew that. That's just, you just can't predict that. You can't predict that Isaac's going to score a brilliant team goal with Wirtz setting him up, and Ekitike involved as well, by the way. and then he gets his leg broke. No one can predict that's going to happen. No one can predict that you're going to bring an 18-year-old in for his first game against Southampton, where he looked unbelievable, and then he slips on the turf on the outside of the pitch and does his ligaments, does his ACL. Nobody can predict that's going to happen. Nobody can predict that Jeremy Frimpong's going to get 2 bad hamstring injuries when he's never been injured in his career. Nobody can predict that's going to happen. But this fracture from a head coach trying to be the top dog when you clearly have a remit, and your remit was, we signed this guy from Chelsea's academy and we got rid of Luis Diaz because you wanted him sold. And a lot of the fan base did as well, let's be honest. And he was also flirting with God knows how many teams. Like, I want to go to Barcelona, I want to go to Real Madrid, I want to do this, I want to do that. He wanted to go to Saudi Arabia at one stage. Like, let's all be real about it, yeah. Like, Luis Diaz would have had one good season with us at Liverpool, one good season, and we got 80 million for him. Thank you very much. It's a lot of money for a player we paid 35 million for. It's a lot of money for a 28-year-old. Sorry. I'm fine with it. But we all thought Rio was going to be a hit. We were all excited from the pre-season, watching Rio do the pre-season, balling it out in the UK, over in South Asia, scoring goals, looking like, whoa, this kid scoring goals against Atletico Madrid at Anfield. We all thought we could have something really special here. And Chelsea were so pissed that we took him. So pissed that we took him. He's played 90 minutes. He's played 90 minutes and we have been arse all season. 90 minutes. He came on the pitch for his debut and scored the winner and then got dropped. like, who are you blaming for that? Like, who are you blaming for that? Because I'm not blaming Rio. I'm not blaming Richard Hughes. He got him. Richard Hughes got him out of Chelsea. Debut against Newcastle, scores the winner. Don't see him again. What? How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense whatsoever? Cody Gakpo, stinker, hooked. Mo Salah comes on. Yeah. Chiesa comes on. Guess who gets dropped the next game? Oh, Chiesa doesn't play. Cody Gakpo comes back in again. Like, wasn't that a chance to maybe play Rio if you're taking your left winger off because he stinks? Because you hooked him at half time. You hooked him at half time. You didn't think you bring Rio on. No, don't play Rio. Like, Rio's not done well when he's come on. Rio was our best player against Leeds for 15 minutes. This manager, man, it gets no better. It gets no better. So there has been a dispute between Slot and the sporting director over the usage of young players and Rio Engamoa in particular. Hughes wouldn't sign a Slot replacement for Luis Diaz because he had a brilliant player in Rio who proved it in pre-season and against Newcastle that he can be a game changer. The head coach hasn't done so nearly as often as he could, leaving a heavy load for other forwards like Hugo Ekitike, who is now injured. The age of the manager is over. This manager thing isn't happening anymore. It's going to be a coach. And look, if we're spending 450 million on attacking players, and let's be real, we sign nothing but attacking players. Like, They're all attacking. Whether it's a left back or a right back is irrelevant. Kirkez is an attacking player. Frimpong is an attacking player. Leone's a kid. We didn't sign him to be a first-team player, but he probably can be. And then you've got the likes of Wirtz, Ekitike, and Isaac, all attacking players. All attacking players. We have been woeful in attack. Absolutely woeful in attack. Like, I gave you that stat, and that stat was real. That we played Forest, Sunderland, Leeds twice, and Wolves. And we created 5 big chances in all of those games together. 5 big chances. 1 big chance against each team. That is how bad we have been. With an attack like we have. Seriously. Like, seriously. The amount of attackers we have. And we produce nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Over and over again. Over and over again, you have the recycle. Recycle the ball, reuse the same tactics, reduce the intensity, and look like shit. Because that is what we are right now. That is exactly what we are right now. And look, it's going to take something special to get points out of those games. I don't care what you're saying. Like, Maresca gone this week, Amarin sacked today. Surely it's only a matter of time for Arnie. Surely it's only a matter of time. Surely it's only a matter of time. And we lost 19 games in 2025. Like, that's an insane amount of games that we've lost. And this season, we're just doing weird shit like this. Like, we couldn't even keep a lead for a minute. Like, and I've also got to say, like, he brought Frimpong on in like the 75th minute, and he completely flipped the game on its head because he was the only guy that actually did any attacking, like, and used his own initiative. And he put a brilliant cross in. Cody nearly missed. Like, it came off Cody's testicles by the looks of it. It bounced off his ball sack into the net. It did. like it wasn't a fancy goal. It came off his ball sack and went in. And then he took his shirt off and did a Richarlison. Wasted like a minute and a half that got added on, which meant that the game didn't end. I just want to make that clear, by the way, that if Cody hadn't have taken his shirt off, the whistle would have been blowing. I just want to point that out. Those substitutions and Cody taking his shirt off added the time on, which is when we lost the game. Sorry, when we lost the game, which is when we conceded the equaliser. I just want to put that out there. Because he made stupid substitutions just before the end of the game, which were not needed. Yeah. There's no point. Like, there was just no point in it at all. There's no point swapping your defenders round. There's no point swapping your defenders round in injury time when you're winning. It's just pointless. But he did it, and we conceded. And it was a brilliant goal. I'm not going to lie, it's a brilliant goal. But why is there not a midfielder blocking him from that shot? Why is there not a midfielder out there? Why have we got 8 men all in the box against 5 players? It is basically a loss. You're right. You're right. It is basically a loss. It is. Liverpool have only scored 3 goals in the first 30 minutes. My God, that is an unbelievable stat. I didn't even know that, and I know some bad stats. Wow. That is shocking. I know. What was the point? I totally agree. What was the point of that substitution? It mixed everything up. It mixed everything up. Slot watched us go from wide open and lose 9 games. Now he is stuck in prevent defense mode. Yeah, I've said this as well. What I've said is basically Liverpool are like safe mode on a computer. They're like safe mode when you put when a computer's like used all its memory and it's just like it's slow and you can't really move the mouse around and you're stuck and you can't close your apps or you can't change your browser tabs. It just goes into safe mode. And I agree as well. He's absolutely rinsing Wirtz now. Like he is. He is. He's going to play Wirtz into an injury. I agree. Also, appreciate that, Ian. If you can hit the likes, that would be amazing. And if you're not a subscriber, if you could subscribe, that would be great. I've got over 250 of you in here. That would be amazing. Have I got any more stuff here? I've got a couple more things actually. So I've got an update on. So I've got an update on a defender leaving, which I've got here for you, which I'll show you. Where is it? Yeah, so I've got an update on a defender. I mean, to be fair, he's not been good for us. Like he's played 3 games and 2 of them he got sent off, which is Amar and Allo. I'm just going to take you off the screen for a second. So the report that Nende is going to be signed. He's an 18-year-old defender who caught the eye for Senegal. And he will be replacing Amara Nallo, who's going to go out on loan, and he's probably going to have a stinker of a loan, to be fair. I think we signed him from West Ham. Yeah, we did. We got him from West Ham's academy. He's not been good. I'm not going to lie. So he's probably going to go out to maybe a League 1, League 2 team. See what happens with him. He's 19 as well, so he's not. He's older than Leone, which you wouldn't think, but he is. But he's older than Leone, and he's also older than Welton Lucky, who was on the bench for the Fulham game. So it looks like we're going to get this kid. We're also signing the other kid as well, but I think with this kid, he can actually come in and play. This and day. I'm not sure who was signing him from. Let me just double check. Where's he coming from? He's 18. From Amity FC in Senegal. So he's coming from a Senegal team. So that'll be an interesting one. Another bit of news is this bit here, which I think is a total bollocks, by the way, but I'm still going to talk about it because it got brought up. So this is from a Portuguese outlet, which I've never ever seen any of their stuff come true, but Liverpool linked with Lionel Messi. And the weird thing about it is, I've said this on a few channels, that I don't even think Lionel Messi could fix us, because Arnie talks about like a moment of magic. That's the reason why you'd win a game for some reason. and then we're linked with Messi. I'm not sure why Lionel Messi would come to Liverpool in the pre-season when he actually owns Miami FC. So why wouldn't he just stay? Into Miami. Why wouldn't he just stay there? Like, Liverpool aware of what Lionel Messi transfer would mean. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Like, if we got Messi for like 6 months, like it would make us a fortune, and it would be amazing, like, to put him in the Champions League team. Like, I'd love to play Messi against Barcelona or PSG if we got them in a Messi left back last 10 minutes. Oh, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Messi against Sunderland away on a cold night. Like Lionel Messi's going to come to the UK in the winter. why would Messi want to come to Liverpool in the winter to play under Arnie? I mean, we'd have more possession probably because he'd have the ball constantly, wouldn't he? But I agree. Like, silky football is on about the Prem right now. You're right. They're just not going to work, are they, in the Prem right now? Also, FSG investment, double deal. So this is rumours about a double deal. So where's the deal? Let's have a look. So this isn't about players, by the way. So this is about no. So this is the double deal with the two defenders, which will cost, I don't know, 2 million. How is that a massive double deal? Massive FSG investment is coming as Liverpool close in on the double deal. That's not. How is that a massive investment? We're not going to spend anything on those two. So the multi-club model is not happening. Like, that's not happening. The multi-club model. We pulled out of the. We are currently the club has 4 ESC spots reserved for players who do not qualify for work permits. Pesky and Mortala are expected to take up those 2 slots. Nduki will be another. Well, that's interesting. I didn't realise that Pesky. So I think this one here, Florentino Perez, is Mo Salah, is Ibrahima Konate. Yeah. So Florentino Perez has blocked the Konate deal. There's also rumours as well that the Konate's agent is trying to reignite that deal so he can go to Real Madrid, which would be interesting. So that would be interesting. Oh, it's winter. So it's winter there. 23 degrees. Well, it's snowy, and it's snowing here, mate. So it's snow on the ground here. And I also want to bring up these two as well because this here is also the other news that I had, which isn't good news, by the way. I'm sorry, but I'm going to bring these two up here. So Adam Wharton, Liverpool absolutely wanted Adam Wharton this January, and this has nothing to do with Slot. This was a Richard Hughes. This was a Richard Hughes thing. This was a committee thing that they want Adam Wharton because he's come on. He's excelled so well this season that they didn't want to let another club have an opportunity in the summer. So we asked in January for him, and we've been unequivocally told he is not for sale at any price in January. But they'll be open for a deal in the summer. But that's going to be, everybody's going to want him in the summer. Crystal Palace obviously don't want to sell Mark Guehi or Mateta or Munez. Mark Guehi's going to Manchester City, by the way. He'll be a City player by Thursday. Him and Semenyo are what City need. Manchester City have lost Diaz now for 2 months. They've lost Guardiola for the season, and John Stones is never fit. So they're left with, they're left with bloody kids at the back and potentially a midfielder playing there. So they're going to get Guehi. Like, they're going to pay 40 million plus for Guehi. Crystal Palace will take it. Like, it's not ideal for Crystal Palace, but Manchester City can also register Guehi in the Champions League. Like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying that we had this guy in a Liverpool tracksuit and we couldn't get it sorted. So annoying. Like, we arsed around with Isaac for so long. Like, we waited so long for Isaac when we could have just gone and paid an extra 5 million for Guehi. Honestly, makes me so frustrated. So frustrated with that stuff. Really am. I'm just going to check out if I've had any new subscribers. See if any of you lot have subscribed. Wow. Wow, I'm nearly there. I need 12 more. 12 more subscribers to get to 2,000. You've been fantastic. Really appreciate that. 12 more. Let's have a purge. Come on, let's hit the subscribe button. Go on. That would be amazing. Thanks, mate. I appreciate that, Klopp. Actually, I'll bring this up for you just for a laugh, okay? Because you missed this. You missed this because you weren't here at the start. But I was bringing up conspiracy rumors, and I brought that up as a funny. Jurgen was at the PSG game on Sunday. Maybe he's putting in a word for us. Actually, what I want to do before we head off is I'm going to share the tactics board, and we'll have a quick look at who we play against Arsenal. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. So it looks like Ekitike had an MRI scan, and he's got a hamstring injury. So I'm not sure he's going to play. He might be on the bench. So right now I'm taking him out. Train Ione, he's never going to get a game. Cody, I'm probably going to put him back in there. McAllister played as the 10 in the last game. Chiesa won't play. Bradley will play. I'm just going to move these around again. Gravenberch, he'll be in midfield as always, as the 6. Not doing any 6 stuff though. Dom, I think he'll be on the right. Potentially, that could be the team. I thought Bradley was really, really poor in the last game. I thought he was really poor in the last game, if I'm completely honest. Canate, I think that'll be the team against Arsenal. Let me know in the chat what you think. Do you think that will be the same? Do you think we'll play the same team like we did against Fulham? Or do you think maybe we'll be a little bit more defensive? Do you think maybe Dom will play in the 10 and we might play Frimpong? So we might go a bit more attacking. So he might play both as right backs? Or do you think maybe Frimpong won't even be in the Frimpong won't even play and it'll be Bradley? What do you think in the chat? Would you think maybe it'd be Bradley Frimpong with Dom in the 10? Verts is going to do his hammy. Oh, God, I really hope not, mate. I really hope not. There are no tactics. I don't think it matters. Oh my God, it's grim, isn't it? All right, so let's move this around a bit then. So maybe Dom there, Frimpong there, Bradley there. So that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be amazing if we play all of our right backs in one game? That would be incredible. That we have all of our right backs on the pitch. So we have Bradley, Frimpong, and Dominic Szoboszlai all on the pitch. Play all your right backs, like, because Gomez won't be fit enough. I mean, he'll be on the bench, but he won't be fit enough. He'll definitely start Gap. Yeah, I think he'll definitely start him. I mean, it could be this. If Ekitike is fit, then it could be this, which is also something I really don't want to see, because I don't want to see Dom play as a right winger, because he's really not been good. So maybe that would be the switch. But I think Ekitike will probably be on the bench. But it could be like that. So you've got Wirtz and Ekitike like dovetailing. So maybe it could be like that. Or it could be Dom in the 10, Wirtz. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that because those two guys they played at the same club for like 4 years, and he never seems to play them. Like he never seems to play them where they can have a connection with each other. That's really what I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why he doesn't try this, where he doesn't play Dominic Szoboszlai and Kerkez and Wirtz and Frimpong literally next to each other. So the two players, like, we have a massive problem at Liverpool with connections, with people playing football together, having routine, having patterns of play, having that connection with the guy and the fluidity to play with the guy who's overlapping you or underlapping you or near you. And I don't understand why he hasn't tried Kerkez and Dom on the left and Frimpong and Wirtz on the right. Like that makes a lot of sense to me. And Wirtz and Ekitike play really well together. So have them play together. Like, those three could have a good triangle. And then you can have Cody there. Cody can just be the inside guy, because what does Cody do when he plays on the left-hand side? He cuts inside and shoots, and he ignores Kerkez. So play Dom there. Play Dom on the left-hand side. Like, Dom's played that position for Hungary with Kerkez. Wirtz has played that position with Frimpong for Bayer Leverkusen for years. And then if you really want to like switch things around, so you've got players who've got relationships, then move Grav to the left-hand side and play Curtis there. Because Gravenberch, Virgil van Dijk and Cody all play for Holland. They all know each other. And then you have the problem, which we all have with Konate. Konate can't progress the ball. Konate isn't great at passing. Konate can't come out with the ball and play into the passing lanes. Well, guess what? If you've got Curtis Jones right by him, you can use Curtis Jones instead. I'm sorry, but it's really not that difficult. And Ekitike can then drop in and connect. He can connect that triangle of Gravenberch and Jones, because Ekitike likes to drop deep. Well, guess what? Curtis Jones likes to progress the ball through the lines. Ekitike can be there for him. Wirtz can be there. You have a triangle of Jones, Ekitike, and Wirtz. You also have a triangle of Jones, Frimpong, and Wirtz. And then you have an overlapping runner of Frimpong and an underlapper of Wirtz. And then you have another triangle. In fact, you have two triangles here. So then you've got Frimpong, Wirtz, and Cody all in a triangle. And then you've also got Wirtz, Cody, and Ekitike all in a triangle. There is so much flexibility with that formation. And putting those players in positions where they feel comfortable. And they would feel comfortable in those positions because they know the players that they're near. Like Virgil van Dijk, Gravenberch, and Cody Gakpo all know each other, all play football for Holland for years. Like, put them all close to each other. It doesn't look like they don't know each other, then does it? It would make sense. It absolutely makes sense. I'm not a manager, I'm not a coach. But I tell you what, if I played that formation with those players in those positions in FIFA or Football Manager, I'd cook. Pretty sure I'd cook. But what do I know? And yeah, that's my setup for Arsenal. Right up. That's it. And yeah, it is 4-4-2. Pretty much. Not going to lie. It's 4-4-2 in a way. Not going to lie. It does look a bit 4-4-2. Or it could be a 4-2-4 with a bit more width with Wirtz and Dom, but they can also move centrally as well. And they can tuck in and play in midfield. And they're not strikers, which means they don't have that kind of attitude where they have to get forward and attack too much because they're midfielders, but they're also attackers because Dom's that type of player that could score 10 goals and 10 assists. Wirtz is the type of player that can get you 15 goals and 15 assists. So they're not strikers, but they can give you strikers' numbers. But they also give you a huge amount of creativity. And they're also midfielders as well. There's so much that can be done there. But just won't do it, will he? But then you've also got the option of, well, if Wirtz cuts inside, then he can go outside. So then you've got options inside, and you've got players that can also play wide. And then you've also got players that are comfortable in bringing the ball out. And guess what you have there? You have more triangles. It's all about triangles, all about angles. And something we haven't had is we haven't had a box midfield. The box midfield did so well last season winning the league. This season, we can't even win our midfield battles. So there's your box. You have your box there, and you have your triangles. So you've got your box midfield and you've got your triangles. It's a system that works. But it's a system that's got players that know how to work with the players that are there. Right now, he's putting up situations and he's playing players in positions and he's playing players who don't know each other too often. Like, you want to go back to basics. Then just put a couple of players who know each other. Virgil van Dijk, Gravenberch, Cody. Put them all close to each other. Put them all on the same side of the pitch on the left. Kirkez and Soboslai. They know each other for Hungary. They're cool. And then you got Frimpong and Wirtz. Play football for 4 years. The same club. Like, and then if you've got a problem with your defender not being able to progress the ball out, put Curtis Jones near him. He's the best in our team at doing that. If you're having a problem with the midfield, put Dom on the left, put Wirtz on the right, have Grav and Jones as a pivot and use a box. The only way you're going to beat Arsenal is by beating their midfield and stopping them from getting set pieces, which right now they play for set pieces. Like, we need to do exactly what we did at Anfield against them and go really defensive and make the game so tight. But we went so narrow in that game and scored with a worldie. I don't know at their ground. It's a tough one. Anyway, I'm going to head out of here, okay? You all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for all the new subscribers. If you can hit the likes on the way out, and if you want to be a new subscriber, hit the subscribe button. I'm also going to be doing a Conspiracies and Rabbit Hole show on Sunday. If you want to become a member and check out that show and any of my content, which is on my channel, that's the link to join. Feel free. And share this if you want. There's loads of good stuff in here, but there's also some funny stuff that we talked about as well. And I'm not going to be around on Thursday. I'm not going to be around on Wednesday and Thursday. So maybe I'll have something to report on Friday. Who knows? Maybe I'll have something better to report on Friday. Maybe we got a managerial dismissal by Friday. Who knows? But I'll catch up with you all on Friday and potentially at the weekend. All right. You all have a great time. I'll see you all. Take care. Bye-bye. Actually, let me see if there's anyone live. 2 seconds. Who's live? Who is live? Let's have a look. Is there anyone live? Nope, there isn't. No, there's no one live. All right then. Yeah.